Hey guys, Matteo here. Welcome back to a new video. Today, as you can see, we're in my new apartment here in Florida. We just moved about 10 days ago. We already met a bunch of great filmmakers and great people. There's a really good vibe and we're pretty excited to be here. But let's just jump into it because today we're gonna talk about my Blackmagic Pocket 6K rig that I built over the past few months. Pretty simple, it seems big, but there's not too much stuff on here. There's nothing really unnecessary on this rig. So what I wanna do today is basically going through every single piece of gear that I have on this rig, because everything you see here is the only thing I use for my shoot and nothing else really. I have some extra stuff that I'm gonna show you for more like run and gun situation. I have my Leica that I'm gonna talk about a little bit. I'm gonna try to remember the price and try to break it down for you. But anyway, I'm gonna leave the links in the description below, so you guys are welcome to go check them out. First of all, I wanna show you guys how balanced this rig is. So when I take this camera in my hand, I'm lefty by the way, that's why I have my follow focus on the right side. But to give you an idea of how balanced it is, what I usually do, I put my finger here, and as you can tell, I'm lifting up with the finger. It is heavy, but look how balanced it is. It doesn't go back, it doesn't go forward, it's just like perfectly balanced. As I said many times before, weight is a very crucial aspect about operating a camera handle, but I can literally do this kind of movement and be very, very stable. So if you're gonna do a lot of handle, you need to add weight to the camera. So at the very front here, we have, of course, our tilted matte box MBT12. This matte box is about $570 on Amazon. That is not a bad deal at all. It's pretty light. He has 3 filter trays, which is kind of crazy. With this tilted matte box, you have everything you need in the box, except for the donut, which I bought from Tilta. He does come with a French flag as well, which I don't have it here because with this lens I don't typically use it. $570. Again, you can use this 4x5.65 on literally any cinema camera. Speaking about matte box, of course, you don't put a matte box on your camera to make the camera look bigger. You put them to use a good quality filter. So here I have my Senese IR&D. So this is actually the Thief and Promise a quarter that I use and I love, and this is about $450 on B&H. I have an IR&D Senese 1.2, 1.8, 0.9. So I would say that I probably have the most common stops of ND, so the 0.9, 1.2, 1.8. I think they're pretty essential for everybody to have. Can't stop recommending them because they're amazing and they served me so well during these years. And because I really like the Senese brand and the Senese filters and the quality of these filters, I just recently bought this Krm filter from Senese, because as I said before, for run and gun situation, sometimes this camera, this rig, could be a little bit too heavy. So getting rid of the matte box, it would help for sure with the weight. So let's move on now and we can talk about the follow focus a little bit. So I know it's kind of weird that I have a regular follow focus and not one of those wireless ones that everybody has, but the reason why I got this is pretty simple. I didn't want to power more stuff on my rig, and when I use this kind of rig, I generally operate myself. Usually have to be very fast, even building the rig and stuff, and I don't typically have time to stay there, turn on the motor and then the wireless transmitter, and then there's some interference and maybe it's not working, and then I have to recalibrate it or that kind of stuff. Just pull the focus from here, or when I operate from the top handle, it's super simple, it's right here, very smooth. This is an Icon Stratus follow focus, is about $250 on B&H. It comes with this little thing that you can pull in and out, you know, to make the pulling a little bit easier. And you have the long one as well, so a couple of accessories in there. But I've been using this for a while now, and I have to say Icon came out with a really, really cool product. That perfume spec that I shot, again, was everything manual focus, of course, and I used this one right here for pretty much all the footage that you're seeing today as a B-roll. So it comes off like this, white wheel here for the markers, which is great. And if you don't have like hard stop on your lenses, that's not a problem because this thing comes with hard stop marker too. Moving to the center right here, we have a bunch of stuff going on. I would say let's start from the cage. I get the tilted cage for the Pocket 6K with the top handle and SSD holder. I also have the sun hood for the monitor, which I don't really use for now because I have an external monitor. And I also got the side handle from Tilta. I really like this Tilta rig. There's some stuff that I wish I would have done differently. I will never understand the screw that goes into the SSD. You pretty much always need a tool in order to screw it in and out. You can't really do it with your finger because it's kind of tight. But on the positive note, I really love the cable management right here. So they have this HDMI pretty much adapter, 90 degrees one, and I also love their USB 90 degrees as well. And you have a bunch of like places where you can attach your accessories for sure. So that's kind of cool. Moving up, we have of course the SSD. I'm using a Samsung T5 1TB. I also have a 500 gig and another terabyte just in case. Moving up, we have the top handle with this attachment here for an extra rode if you need it, like an horizontal one, which is kind of sick. The handle itself is pretty cool, does its job, nothing too crazy. It is pretty solid on top here. I wish the attachment would be different because sometimes it kind of like wiggle a little bit, but again, not a big deal. Speaking about cost for the Tilta rig, I don't really remember. I think the entire thing was roughly $400 to $500, but again, I'm gonna put the link in the description. So, and moving up, I have this small rig mount where I attach my monitor. I really like this thing actually. You basically screw your monitor, which is very, very easy because you don't have to turn the monitor and just try to screw it in with the cable that goes around your handle. So this is done, and after you're done, you have your shoe mount here that you basically slide in. And the thing that I like about the Tilta handle is that it has this security thing, the safety click that basically the monitor, even if it unscrews, it can't slide out. And then moving up, of course, we have an external monitor, and after many years, I swapped my monitor. So Portuguese, they were kind enough to send me this BM5 to test out, and I decided to use it and give it a go. You can literally see outside without a sun hood, which is crazy. I couldn't do it on my small HD focus, but this thing is really, really well built, and it has the Bluetooth module right here where you can control your Pocket 4K, 6K, your Sony, any camera that supports Bluetooth. It also comes with a screen protector that you can basically screw on it. Again, build quality is pretty amazing. It has one HDMI port on the side. It has an headphone jack here, turn on and off. He has 4 buttons on the top, F1, F2, F3, F4, where you can set up shortcut. And this is the thing that surprised me kind of a little bit, because it has SDI in and out, which is great. It does take NPF batteries, so I usually use this Sony, but which is really cool too, is that it comes with some accessories, and one of those is this cable that is basically D-tap to power. So you can potentially power your monitor out of your V-mount, no problem. Great colors actually. You can calibrate it, you can move your RGB around, and I had it actually pretty close to the Pocket 4K. Definitely colors are way better on this monitor than my Small HD. The Small HD is like super blue. The cost of this monitor, it's about $399, which I think for what it is pretty good. Keep in mind guys, I can't talk about reliability, I can't talk about customer service, I can't talk about this kind of stuff. So far so good. I've been using it since 2 months and I never really had a problem. But let's just jump into the back part of the rig right now, and let's talk about batteries and plate and cables that I use to power my Blackmagic Pocket 6K. I've been using these DNO batteries since more than a year now. I've been using them on a Pocket 4K, I use them with some lights, I use them with any other camera really. They've been working great. One actually failed on me once while I was in Italy. Not a big deal. I don't know how common it is for a battery to just die, but their customer service is awesome. They sent me a brand new one. So what I can recommend for you guys is getting 295. With one, you could probably do between 6 and 8 hours of shoot, I guess. It depends from the codec, from the frame, from the resolution and everything. But this battery, except for that episode that I had, they've been extremely reliable. The other cool thing about these batteries though is of course the price. I think you can get 2 of these and the charger for 300 bucks. I'm gonna actually leave a discount code in the description below, so you guys can go and get them with a 10 or 20% off, which I think is pretty cool. And we have this Tilta plate. So this Tilta plate basically is different from the one that I had for the Pocket that was 8 scene and it was a vertical one. This is basically slide in horizontally. and in that way the battery is not going to obstruct the screen. What I really love about this battery, and I think it's a little bit better than the 8C one, it basically has a DC out, 8 volt, 12 volt, 14.8 volt D-tap, 12 volt, and over here you have another D-tap. And how do you go from the plate to the camera? Of course, you have your D-tap to 2-pin limo cable. What I really recommend you guys is getting at least 2 of them. This is a really important thing, especially if you're planning to shoot only on your V-mount. Get a backup cable, because if that thing breaks, you're pretty much screwed, and there's no way you're gonna be able to power your camera and with the V-mount. And of course, underneath we have our tilt-up plate for the rods, and those 2 tilt rods. These are pretty long one. I can't remember the exact size. There's a plate right here where the camera with the cage slides on it. So these, I think, comes all together with the cage. I think I got the kit. And in the back here, I have some very small rods that I basically insert in the back, and that allows me to put the battery like that. And the last thing I want to talk about, because they're part of the rig as well, is my Leica R lenses. Everything I shot on the Pocket 6K that you see in this video, it's all shot with this Leica R, and I absolutely love them. So I don't have a full set, but I do have a 19mm V1 f2.8. That's probably one of my favorite lenses. It's a 2.8, so it's good enough. You can still do some low light if you want to. I have a 35mm f2 that I have on the camera right now. Then I have a 50mm f2 as well. And of course I have the 90mm for those like creamy close-up shot, 90mm f2. They're plenty sharp, even if they're vintage lenses. These guys are from the mid 80s, and I don't know if you can tell from the camera, but there's no scratch on it. They look like they just came out of the box. And again, they're all Cinevised and serviced and modified by Duclos. So these lenses are all declicked, so you can smoothly change your aperture. They have the focus ring, and then they have this ring right here, which is 80mm, where you can screw on those 77mm filters. The cool thing about these lenses is that you can virtually use them for everything. Could be a wedding, could be a commercial, could be a documentary, could be a movie. These lenses have nothing less than some of the best lenses out there in terms of like cinema glasses. Again, I use Cookus 4 multiple times. These things get really close. They're playing definitely in the same league. And yeah, that's pretty much wrap up the rig tour video for the Pocket 6K. Thanks again for watching, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.